Hi there, Tammy Beard with Stampin' Savvy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am here today to share with you a fun technique on how you can step up your embossing. So thanks for joining me. Let's get right to it. So I want to show you the difference in these two examples right here. So both of these have been embossed on the Basket Weave Dynamic Textured Impressions embossing folder by Stampin' Up! And I want you to see the difference between this one on the right and then this one on the left. Both of them were embossed in the same manner, but this one is the stepped up version that I want to show you today. Really simple and easy to do, but it really does make a difference in highlighting the details that you can find in the dynamic embossing folders. So let me show you how easy it is to do. I'm going to show you on the Basket Weave folder because in a lot of cases the embossed and the debossed sides of the embossing folders can be the same. And what I mean by that is this is the embossed side. It's the raised image side. If you're to flip it over, the parts that were raised on the other side are now under on this side. And in this particular case, with this folder, you really do get two very unique looks, two different looks. Very clearly a basket weave pattern on this side, but this side produces this kind of graphic pattern, so very different looks. So in the basket weave case, it's kind of like a 2-for-1 special. You get two different looks. A lot of the embossing folders, it doesn't matter which side you use. And there's a reason that I bring this up, because when we go to do this technique, it's going to matter what side you want to be on your project, whether you want it to be the embossed side or the debossed side. If you want it to be the embossed side, then you're going to always ink the top part of the folder. If you wanted to use the debossed side, you're going to ink the bottom of the folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the embossed side that you see right here. And the difference you can see, this one is the inked and the non-inked. If I turn this over, both of these have been inked. So this is the embossed side that's been inked, and this is the debossed side that was inked. Whatever pattern that you want to face up is what you want to ink. Does that make sense? So again, if you want the embossed side to be the part that is inked, then you're going to want to do the top part of the folder. If you want the debossed side to be up, then you're going to ink the bottom side of the folder. So let's go ahead, and you're going to need three things. You're going to need a classic Stampin' pad, whatever color choice that you want. We're working with Early Espresso today. You're going to want the sponge brayer, a really inexpensive tool. As are the embossing folders. They are my favorite way to get texture and pattern onto your paper crafting projects. My favorite accessory when it comes to the Big Shot machine. So now what we're doing is we're just going to load up some ink onto this roller. And I want to give you a couple of tips here. The first one is that there is, on the handle, it fits onto the roller with a cylinder here. And it's really important that as you are inking this up, you're not pressing too hard. As I put pressure on that roller, you can see that the handle gets real close to that ink pad. If you press too hard, that piece right there will actually dig into your pad, and you don't want that. And you really don't need to do the extra pressure anyhow, because the way that the ink pads are stored is that they're always stored upside down. So the ink will always remain on the surface of your pads. That is the beauty of the Stampin' Up! Ink pads. So just a light pressure is all you need. We've got plenty of ink on here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring this over to our embossing folder, and with a light touch, we're going to bring it over and we're going to start transferring that ink from the roller onto the folder. And then just going to add a little more ink here. And you can see it start to build up here. It's getting a little bit darker. Let's do it one more time. And then I also like to go the opposite direction. Now when you're doing the smaller sized embossing folders, there's 6 by 6 and then there is this size. You want to make sure that if you're using a full sheet that you get all the way to the edges. And you're trying to get it as even as you can, unless you're looking for a variegated look, which is just a different look. Okay, now while we've got this open, we've got the ink on the embossed side. We're going to take our cardstock. This is soft suede. And on the uninked side, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay our cardstock in exactly where we want it. Now in this case, there's a pattern to it, and we want to make sure that we get our paper aligned with that pattern. So we're going to go ahead and lay it in here. So the tip is that you want to get it exactly where you want it placed before you close your folder. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to close it. I'm going to set this off to the side, and we're going to bring in our Big Shot machine here. And I've got a firm grip on the embossing folder because we don't want that paper to shift because the ink has already now touched that cardstock. So on the dynamic folders, because of the thickness, you only are going to use one cutting pad. So we're going to put it into the Big Shot machine with the spine of your embossing folder towards the center. Going to lay that on there, lay our cutting pad on top, and then we're going to just give that a roll through. Okay. Going to go ahead and set this off to the side. And there we go. Look at that absolutely beautiful detail. So let me bring in the one that we were looking at before. Both of those are soft suede cardstock. They were both embossed in that same folder. So you can see the difference between no ink and ink and how it just really highlights all of those beautiful details. And then again, we've got the difference between ink and no ink on the debossed side. Okay, absolutely gorgeous. It really is fun and addictive when you start doing this. Okay, when you are all done doing your inking, I'll give you a couple cleanup tips. Because the classic Stampin' pads are a water-based dye ink, they're super easy to clean. Just take them under a sink, do some running water on it. That's all going to come off. Give that a dry, you're good to go. Same thing with this one. I like to pop mine off, and so what I do is you just spread that handle a little bit and it'll come right off. Rinse this clean under some water. Give it a good squeeze. I like to wrap mine in a towel and squeeze it. And then you're good to go. And you can use these over and over again. So when you order the sponge brayers, they come with 2 handles, and then you get 4 different rollers. So I want to show you that on this one right here, it's clean. So when you rinse these clean, like this one here, if you have used ink that has any red in it, you're going to get some staining on your foam rollers. That's okay. It's totally normal. It actually will not transfer. It's just stained the foam. There's actually no ink left on this. So don't worry about that if you see that happen. What I do is I just keep a couple of them for my red-based colors, and then I keep the other ones for the other colors. Not that it probably really matters. It's just a personal thing. And then I store mine in one of the wide stamp cases. These are the empties that you can purchase. They come in a 4-pack. Absolutely wonderful for storage of a variety of different things. So we've got that inked up, but now I want to show you several different projects that were made with different embossing folders. So I'll show you this one because this is the card that I made with the basket weave embossing folder that we just saw. So I'll set that there, and you can see that I also have embossed the flap of the envelope as well. That's really easy to do. And then that's the card that was made with it. I don't know, that always makes me think of apple pie when I see this, which I really love apple pie. So does anybody else get that? Okay, one other card, very similar design. This one was an ombre effect. This was made with the pine wood planks embossing folder. So this is kind of that wood grain plank look. And again, I've embossed the envelope for this one too. It's just a fun way to coordinate your envelope with your projects. And let me show you how easy it is to do that. All you're going to do is you just line it up on the edge, you put that down, and then that's going to go through your Big Shot machine just like that. Depending on which way you have the orientation, this is a 6x6. So you actually can emboss this direction, or you could emboss this direction depending on, which way you want your planks to go. So that is the second one. Let me show you the tin tile embossing folder. And this card here, that's the Country Home stamp set. Country Lane is the designer series paper, I think. But the tin tile on crumb cake cardstock with soft suede ink. Just look at those luscious details. This is one of my favorite embossing folders. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, one more I'm going to show you is using the subtle dynamic embossing folder and this card right here. And what I want to do is I want to show you the difference. This is the this has been inked with Flirty Flamingo ink on Blushing Bride cardstock. And it shows up really nice right here. But I want to show you what it looks like without the ink on it. Okay, so that you can see the difference. There's a really good reason why it's called the subtle embossing folder, because it's made to just look like a textured cardstock in a very subtle way, right? So you can hardly see that right here. In fact, to photograph this, it's really challenging. But look at the difference when you ink up your embossing folder. Does that not just make it pop? Absolutely gorgeous. So I've got one other color combination that I did here, just kind of playing. This was Sahara Sand cardstock. You can see the uninked side here. And then that was inked with Night of Navy. And I'm going to create a card or something out of this. I just was trying something different and thought that looked really, really cool. These, I'm going to show you this again. There's the stamped envelope, and then that beautiful card right there is from a new set that is coming. In fact, I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek of it right now. It's coming on November 1st. And this is the Snowfall Thinlits dies. This is a mega set. There is 20 dies in this set. And it is designed to coordinate with the stamp set that I used here, which is called Snow is Glistening. And that's your winter set. But then it also has kind of another partner set called Happiness Surrounds. And this is a year-round set. So what this is designed to do, these two stamp sets both coordinate with those Snowfall Thinlits dies. So it's actually kind of a 3-part set that you can get for year-round use. Absolutely some really, really beautiful images, and these have been so fun to play with. So that's what this card was made from right here. So lots of different ways that you can use this technique. And I encourage you, try different colors, try different color combinations. It really is addictive and fun. And the embossing folders are all $10 and less. So they are really inexpensive. They last forever. You can use them over and over again. And those are all some of the reasons why it's one of my favorite ways to get that texture and pattern on your cards. A lot of fun. So if you liked today's video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Any of the supplies that I've used to make these cards or anything that's available from Stampin' Up! Is available on my online store at stampinsavvy.com. I would love to be your demonstrator and appreciate your business. Please do use my rewards code. It is on the website. The current code is always on the website. I love to spoil my customers, and my rewards kits are really popular. So if you would like one, please use that rewards code for your orders. And until next time, I thank you for watching. Bye-bye.